Hello, everyone, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Need to Nerd podcast. This is episode 134. I'm your host, EZ. I'm joined by my co-host, the man comfortably in first place in our fantasy league, Petty friggin' B. You gonna lose again?
Yeah, I'm gonna lose. I'm gonna lose this week, I think.
Dude, I'm gonna lose too. This league is crazy. The thing is,
Yeah.
I actually am not guaranteed to lose because I did drop the player that was gonna be out, but I was favored by a lot, and they just never threw the ball to Deebo Samuel. But I made a huge mistake, and I'll just talk about this in the podcast. I love starting this with fantasy. I knew I was supposed to play Waddle because I was starting Tua because it was a bye week.
Get that stack.
And to get the stack, and I didn't do it. And it's like the fifth week in a row that I didn't do something I knew I was supposed to do. Because I was like, it doesn't matter. I'll just play the best players. And it always did matter. It always mattered. It might honestly cost me the playoffs after, a 6-0 start or whatever I had. So.
Yeah, it's always tough to know. This league is pretty crazy. I do need T. Higgins to not do anything, and I can win. But that's a tall task against my terrible Cowboys defense. So
anyway, if you want to talk about music or fantasy football, things we talked about, head on over to the Discord, as well as I posted the first look at Toph for the new season of Avatar in there. I don't know if you got a chance to look at that, but
not yet. Ooh,
head on over to the Discord and then share the show. If you got a chance to share the show, help people find the Discord, help people find these nerdy stuff that we talk about. It really helps out. This week we are talking about our Need to Nerd for December. I'm interested how this one's going to go because I'm going to be honest. I get really bad seasonal depression during Christmas season. Patty had to fight tooth and nail the last year or so to get me to do Christmas episodes. And I do them. I understand that a lot of people love it. But my Christmas is full of things that you don't expect for Christmas season. And I'm sure Patty's are full of something else. With that being said, what are we nerding out about right now? I'll go first. I'm going to start off with MTG. Magic the Gathering is my first love in this world, Patty B. And this standard is out of this world.
It's crazy.
It is.
It's so good.
It's so good. I've got Matt Kling playing standard again, which is a tall task. This weekend I was hoping to come with you too, but I got me, Quentin, and Matt all going to a 1K level RCQ this weekend, just figuring out our decks and things like that. And there's something special about Magic when standard is important and good, that it was so funny for people to say for years, standard's dead, it'll never come back. And it's like the second they supported it, nope. Actually, it's the most important thing in the world.
And oh my gosh, it's good when you actually put support and do cool stuff with your format.
Well, it's funny. I think it's been good since RC San Diego. I there's not been a standard format that I thought was bad since the it's not monstrous. It was the stupid Jeskai Dragon format was really, really bad.
Okay, yeah, with Battle for Zendikar, Esper Dragons, Dragon Tarkir kind of era.
No. Specifically, it was Goldspan Dragon plus a Jeskai Dragon. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, right.
It was 3 years ago.
It had the Jeskai Neon Dynasty legendary
I literally can't remember the name of the mechanic. It's not monstrous. It's I can't remember. Anyway, it's been a long time. I literally just stopped playing standard during that format. It was so bad. But outside of that, like since the end of the pandemic, outside of that format, it's the end. It's been really good, and I want to give you a minute too before I wax poetic, because this is your number one too.
Yeah, it's the thing that I've had just like the most time for currently. Is just like gemming in my dailies and cooking with some crazy brews. I've been playing a lot of just wild decks like Black White Aristocrats. There's like a blue black kind of flash variant that leaned more into just like creatures with flash, Brineborn Cutthroat, that kind of thing. And right now I am hooked on Grixis Cauldron with Arcanist.
I played against that deck twice in the last
deck is so sick. I love everything about it. I love
you're letting your boss rub off against you a little too hard.
No, my boss does not. No, this is not my boss thing. My Nick is always like play the best thing.
That's not true. He never does that.
He does that
one time where he did that.
All of the last RCQ season.
He does. I don't think that's true. One time. Well,
okay.
Anti shout out to Nick. He never does what he preaches.
He gave me crap for playing some like or saying that like I play off the wall stuff, you know. Which
he
literally
is known for taking ninth at the most SCGs with brews, so he can shut up. My next one is I had started Red Dead Redemption 2 on my PC instead of my computer instead of my Xbox, so that I could hand Patty B RDR2, which he's never come and gotten.
I'll be over sometime. Probably this next Sunday. I'm fingers crossed. I'm pretty sure that like I'll have this next Sunday where we can maybe do brunch and
nice.
And football.
I always like brunch and football. But I had I had a problem where I was like avoiding the end of chapter 2 or whatever it is in this game, and I don't know why. After getting into chapter 3, I think that I was really trying to relish it the way that I relished it, like kind of chasing the dragon, and we'll get into this a little later, the first time that I played it. But I'm being very selective about my horses. It's actually inappropriate. Like I the other day, Patty, I got the second best shotgun in a chest for a quest that I already owned because I was that far ahead of the story.
Okay. Cool.
And
so you've just been like doing side quests and stuff and not progressing in the main story?
Not even side quests. Like just literally there was I have 92 hours in this save file. That is way less than it takes you to beat this game. Or way more than it takes to beat this game. And I am not even halfway through yet. I am relishing it. And the thing is like, it's a lot. I was going to talk about, like, I started a new Valheim world as well. And I like, during this depressing season where, like, I'm inside a lot and I can't go on walks with my kids or do this other stuff. I very much value, like, those moments where I get to be alone. And so for me, like, Valheim and RDR2 are like real moments where I can be alone and just enjoy the escape. So
cool.
I I gotta know what this next one is because I've never watched this. Is this
I
real?
know. So this so we last night Shelby was like itching to watch some Squid Game. And I had never she's watched it dubbed when it came out, right? I never ended up watching it.
Wait,
I had not seen it
before.
It
was dubbed when it came out?
It was not dubbed when it came out. Or not dubbed. It was subbed. Yes, sorry.
Got it. Okay.
Yes. Sub when it came out.
They dubbed
There's finally a dub on Netflix. And so my ADHD brain is like, all right, I guess we'll watch it. And yeah, and she convinced me to watch a lot of it last night. And yeah, it's some of this dub stuff is kind of wild. For like live action.
Yeah.
Have
you watched a live action dub before?
Nope. This was my first one.
Okay.
We watched that one, and then I caught like this morning. She still had the itch, and like was watching some other like Japanese, almost like Squid Game on Netflix thing, where it's got like cards and games and stuff. Like it, yeah. Wild.
That's crazy. I might have to watch it. I have to watch it without Devonair because I'm pretty sure, isn't it pretty gory?
It is very gory. Yes.
Yeah, I don't think Devonair will watch it with me. So that's
literally like 250 people get mawed down in the opening episode. Like
maybe I don't
red light, green light. It's yeah, like I know, and to quote Into the Woods, it's my thing about blood. I know you have a thing with really gory stuff.
Yeah.
So,
I also have a problem, and I don't know if I should solve this problem, and I want to talk to you about it, Patty B.
Okay.
I'm milking.
Is it more cowboy? More cowbell?
It is some cowboy.
Okay.
I am milking Outlaws. Like,
yeah.
I not only like am I milking it, but I am doing it very purposefully. Where like I'm jumping between worlds after you can move worlds to just do quests world to world and missions world to world so that I spend the most time in the game possible. But honestly, I don't know if it's a honestly, like if I wanted to beat the game and be done, I could probably do it in a weekend. But like, I don't know if that's what I want. Like, here's the thing: is I skipped so many quests in Breath of the Wild, in Tears of the Kingdom, in Red Dead Redemption, in my first playthroughs of most of the KOTOR games. Like, I'm trying not to do that.
Is it a thing like with? I know that in Witcher, like some quests, like once you get to a certain point, you can't do anymore, or like it gives you a fail on them.
That's a good question.
Do you know if that's the case here?
I don't know if that's the case there. There are like live events that happen on given worlds that only happen at certain times. So like, and then I explained this to you. I think in October, where you have 4 factions,
right?
And you like only can do quests within those factions at the level that you're at in the factions.
Gotcha. Okay.
So right now, for example, I have no factions in like the very red. So I can go to any planet and do any job to get money for the most part that I want.
Okay.
And I'm trying to maximize that, which means that I am not doing any of the main quests.
Gotcha. So so you're balanced throughout your like devotion to stuff.
Yeah.
And you keep it that way by doing quests for everybody and just cashing in.
Yeah.
I hear that.
So
because the main quest may take you to like whatever
the main
specific faction as far as like
that always happens. But yeah.
Cool.
You're running sound for Anastasia?
I am. Yeah. So this is something that an opportunity came up that I jumped on. It's taking up a lot of my time. Uh, this week was the beginning of Hell Week, Tech Week. This is something that I've hosted karaoke shows before, and I've worked with sound for a while as far as like basic sound stuff for microphones, speakers, whatever, what have you. But this opportunity came up. They needed someone to run their microphones for the show. I did this show in January of this year, kind of on a last second basis too. And I love it. I wanted to audition for it, but I didn't have with doing fall weddings and stuff, it just wasn't really in the cards. So this is yeah, I we opened this Thursday, and it's been a really good time working on that side. Something I haven't really done in theater really since high school, as far as like working on it.
Yeah, I never tried to run mics on stage crew.
Yeah.
Mostly because, like, I don't know. That wasn't my thing on stage. I very much enjoyed, like, the other parts of stage crew.
Yeah.
In high school. But that's dope, dude.
Yeah, I'm having a blast doing it. Like,
it's is the Anastasia musical based off of the movie?
Kinda.
It's
like,
not
yes,
like, it's not like
so so the villain is not the same. That's there's no Bartok, no Rasputin.
There's no Bartok?
Yeah.
Is that even worth a show? What are you doing?
Wow. Yeah, no.
How does he give him the high and the hi-ya and he kick him, sir?
Something I want to run by. I don't know if it's even possible, but like he wants to, because there's like this little section where there's like a train announcer, and I think it would be so cool
to give him
to
Bardock lines,
to pay the do like a cameo with like that voice actor and have him just like run say the lines. Train to Budapest on whatever, yada yada yada.
Yeah,
like
we watched that twice this year for family movie night. That's why I asked.
Yeah, it's a good movie. A lot of theaters did it this year. This was, I think, the 4th iteration of it. So, and it's kind of wild. It runs through basically Christmas and a little bit after. There's no shows on Christmas Eve or Christmas, but like basically the entire month of December. So,
my final one is college football, and it is not just the college football rankings final rankings that came out today. Maxwell has gotten into playing college football 25 and always wants to play with me. He really enjoys it. I taught him how to do a lot of stuff. Like, he's very good at the quick pass slant game and like cover 2 defenses and things like that. Like, teaching him how to like actually play the game, and like he goes online and plays, and he plays with me, and like it's very fun. Because of that, like, he has gotten more into watching. Like, he will just actually sit and watch football like he hasn't since he was like a 4-year-old.
Okay.
Like, he played flag football and just it was not for him. Because they only ran the ball, and that's not what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because my family are huge BYU fans, for those who don't know. Absolutely robbed of a good record, or good. No, come on. Are you for real? They have the most top. Hold on. You are a Utah fan, so like I get that you don't want to admit this, but they have a better resume than Alabama, Clemson, and they have beaten SMU and have a better resume than SMU. And like we're not even in the first listen, I disavowed the team, and like I can still admit that like they had the most overlooked resume in college football this year. And had they not lost to Kansas, it would be a problem. Anyway, it's fine because, quack, quack.
I know. I was about to say, congrats on yo Ducks.
Dude, it's so funny because this morning, I don't know I think you saw the video of what I woke up to this morning.
The jumping duck.
Just my little daughter in her duck costume jumping on my bed saying go Ducks, and it warmed my heart in like a real way. And something that I think that like if you are a fan of like wrestling or a fan of seasonal things, I think that you could probably learn to make the connection to what football means to people, because it is so fleeting and so short compared to other sports and other things. It's like it is 12 weeks, a postseason, and it's done. And it's like
for college ball, yeah.
Well, I mean, even the NFL, right? Is what is it? It's
18 weeks, but 17 games.
Yeah,
and playoffs.
And it all happens at once, and then it's done. And you wait all this time for it, and it comes and goes so fast. And the reason that I bring up BYU is I have siblings that were really sad this year. And I'm like, I can't believe you were not supposed to be anywhere close to where you were. You had a 10-win season. You tied for the top of your conference. And if they had reasonable tiebreakers, you would have been in the championship game. Instead, they have the dumbest tiebreakers in the NCAA for some reason. Those change next year. It's crazy. And then they told me I didn't get an opinion. They're like, your team hasn't lost a game. You don't you're so lucky. And I'm like, just to be clear, BYU has a better historical record than the Oregon Ducks do.
Yeah. That's some unreasonable stuff. I'm saying that you don't have an opinion, that you don't get an opinion. That's the kind of nonsense, but whatever. It's fine.
This is regardless of what happens the rest of this season, it's the best Oregon Duck season ever. And I watched
more than just the dudes with the coolest jerseys, right?
I mean, they do have
their team is crazy. Yeah, I was gonna say more than. And how cool! I do shout out one thing with the BYU Cougars. I love that their quarterback got a really sweet NIL deal, and that.
Did he get it outside of the school too because of being Jewish?
I think so.
That's so cool.
Yeah. Yes.
The BY Jew.
Yes, exactly. That's what NIL is for. It's for guys like Kool-Aid McCormick to get or whatever, Kool-Aid McKenzie or whatever his name is. But yeah.
There's so many things to love about this college football season. Everybody points at Phil Knight, obviously Oregon's number one, they have the highest paid roster, but they don't have the highest star athletes.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have in fact, last 2 years they've had a better team, as we see in the NFL right now, than they have right now. But it really does come down to it still does come down to culture and coaching and building something cool. And what's really cool that I hope we get to continue, I know that they've already started working on the next college football video game, but am so excited for the next one. I know it won't possibly be as hyped as like the 10-year wait that this one had.
Sure, yeah.
But like the updates, the like things that they did with this one, it was really cool to like see. For example, Maxwell started doing better against me because he played BYU because that's his grandma's team, and their players all kept getting raises in their stats as their team did better during the season to reflect that. And I love that. So
did they get a downgrade for their coach being really bad at managing the clock?
I don't think. I think he's just Dan Campbell, man. I don't think he's bad at managing the clock.
Yeah,
I think he's just a psychopath. I listen. After watching Mario Cristobal for like 3 years, coach Oregon, nobody is bad at managing the clock comparatively to me. Sure. And then watching Mario Cristobal lose 3 games for Miami in the last 2 years, all due to clock management. Like, I have a different respect for like aggressive coaches versus idiots. Like actual like,
because like it almost cost them against Utah, right? Like if the clock was managed so poorly and they barely made it out of there.
Yeah.
But and then like it did cost them against Kansas. So
it did. No, I think that there is I mean, that has been true for I mean, listen, I will never disrespect my Lord and Savior, our current Oregon coach, but he also has some of those moments where you're like, okay, maybe you're being a little too aggressive here, buddy. And I've watched Kalani his entire time at BYU. And he is, I mean, we all remember the fake punt on the 5-yard line or whatever it was. Like, he's crazy. He's a psychopath.
Did you see that Utah State hired Bronco Mendenhall?
I did see that. Bronco Mendenhall is like literally one of my favorite humans of all time.
Okay.
He's just one of the good dudes that went to bowl games everywhere he went. Always had winning seasons, and I mean, he turned around New Mexico and then quit on them, which is wild because that's like his alma mater. I don't know what's happening. I guess New Mexico didn't get invited to the Pac-12, so he's like, peace.
All right, guess I'm going to
all right, that's enough college football,
better
though.
School. Yeah,
let's talk about the Kraven movie, which is one of your first things and our next things to fulfill in our Need to Nerd.
Yeah, so like, with doing the sound for Anastasia, like my time is going to be super crunched this month, right? Like I'm going to try and squeeze in time to do like some Christmas stuff with my family, but like I literally have a show every single night because it's double cast, except for Sundays. So I'm going to try and squeeze in some things like the Kraven movie. I talked about this a while ago as just something I was just really kind of excited for, and it is now finally here. I love Aaron Taylor Johnson. Russell Crowe is fantastic. Like the cast looks really cool. And I think that the concept of this and having it being its own thing, I have really high hopes that it won't be Madam Web. So that I'm excited for.
I can't believe they're doing another R-rated movie. Like I just like, they have given up competing with Marvel completely.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, everything. I mean, to be fair, I'm glad.
It's a way to be different, right? In this superhero like economy world, like having those like more hardcore kind of like.
We'll get into why
crazy
I'm a little shocked in a little bit, but I'm a little shocked. Okay. My first one is Skeleton Crew. I didn't watch the release of Skeleton Crew because I mean, I'll just be honest. Like, I've been really upset with Star Wars fandom between Outlaws, between the last seasons of The Mandalorian. Like, I'm so tired of the clickbaity hate that I was like, I don't even care. Like, I'll just watch it when I watch it. And it sucks because actually, I think The Acolyte is really what turned me off. Like, I thought The Acolyte was one of the most amazing, beautiful, interesting Star Wars pieces of media ever. And to have the biggest creators grow their brand by hating on this thing, calling it woke and like all this crap, I was so sick of it. But I'm excited for this one. I don't watch Stranger Things because I don't like horror and horror tropes. And this sounds like a thing that I'll get to enjoy with the like 80s, 90s nostalgia that I will like without it being about that. So, also, as said on, it was either Jimmy Fallon or Stephen Colbert, I believe Jude Law is the first person to be in Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, and Harry Potter.
Oh yeah, because okay. What was Jude Law in Lord of the Rings?
I gotta look this up. It was like some major.
Is it like from the Hobbits? Was he in like the Hobbit movies?
I'm looking it up right now.
Okay.
They talked about it. Maybe it wasn't Harry Potter.
No, it was definitely Harry Potter because he was in Fantastic Beasts as Dumbledore. Yeah,
he was Dumbledore. Let's see here. So we've got
Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, he was in Sherlock Holmes's. I mean, that's not the one that they were talking about, but that is funny. Oh, it was Marvel.
Oh, sure, Marvel as in Captain Marvel.
Yep.
As one of the Kree guys. Yeah. I mean,
that's funny that he's also in Sherlock Holmes. Dude, all he has to do is be in Lord of the Rings, and he's captured every nerddom.
Just across the spectrum.
That's cool. That's so funny. Yeah. You got Robert Eggers next. What's going on here?
Yeah, it's another movie that, like, this is not my normal, because I also, like, while I enjoy, like, the gory kind of, like, violence and action, this looks like that's not normally like my like horror movie that I enjoy. And Bill Skarsgård is playing Nosferatu, and I am excited to see this director's take on the vampire story. Yeah, it's again not my normal thing, but it is another thing that I can see myself getting into this next month.
How much Witcher 3 will you have to put down to finish this stuff?
Yeah, Witcher 3 has been my like late night like thing when I can't like sometimes I can't sleep. It's like, all right, I guess I'll just like jam some Witcher. Yeah, it's wild how far I've gotten back into that game.
I mean, it is considered one of the best like 15 video games of all time.
Yeah.
Hey man, listen, let me be clear. If I lend you a video game and you have this much fun with it, it is a good lend. Like that.
What I actually need to do is like buy it for myself so that I can like
I don't need
the other. No, not that, but to do the like the DLCs.
Oh, I mean, you can do that with the one that I gave you should have the first 2 DLCs.
It doesn't.
It does on mine.
Oh, I don't know. We'll figure it out. But I need to play the DLCs because that's something like
you can just download the DLCs without buying the game though. Like you can use the copy.
Yeah, but like it's also like I think I was looking at like the pricing on it. It's like it might be just worth just buying the game for myself anyways.
The whole thing. Sure.
buying the whole thing. Yeah.
My next thing is Blue Lock. For those who don't know, my son is in a very competitive soccer academy. It's literally called Soccer Academy in Utah. It's sponsored by our professional team.
Oh, right, because isn't there like a training facility for RSL like out kind of in Harriman?
Yeah. So if he makes the competitive team in tryouts this spring, he actually will. That is where he will play and practice.
Oh, that's so cool.
So Blue Lock is a soccer anime.
Yeah.
And he watches it every week as it comes out because he loves soccer so much. And I actually watched the whole thing before he did and then introduced him to it. And I have not watched any episodes of this new season. But he tries to talk to me about it every week. And I'm like, listen, man, like...
But he can't spoil it for me.
You can't tell me. One of his few movies he's been in the theater to was like a Blue Lock, like special. What are they called? It's like it starts with a V. I don't know. They're like these special movies for anime nerds that they rent. They do the theater, and you get access. And I gotta catch up because the kid is going ham, and I've also got to like buy him a goal for Christmas again because we bought him a fiberglass goal.
Okay.
And we tried to, it blew away and broke, and then the contractors for our HOA ran over it.
Oh.
Instead of just moving it, which
That's
is
nice
really cool of them. So I gotta buy him another goal. We've been playing mostly basketball because it's junior jazz season, but
right, it's a little cold to be outside.
No,
for soccer.
We've been playing basketball outside.
Oh, okay.
Because he has to play on a smaller hoop, and so we have to go to like the elementary school because he plays on an 8-foot hoop.
That makes sense.
For junior jazz. You're in tap class?
Yeah, dog. So kind of like when people do like magic coaching or like things to sharpen coaching or trying to get better at something. I want to audition for a show that has a lot of tap coming up this February. And so we're in a little bit of a break like immediately, but in a couple weeks here, we'll be back to doing some tapping on Friday nights. It's been a blast to try and like hone that skill and get my body like ready for that. It's like, and it's kind of weird, the whole like balancing on my toes. So,
Love it.
It's always improving.
My next one is my video game backlog. There's one specifically. I'll just grab it. Oh. I need to do it.
Yeah. You haven't done that?
No.
Oh. Okay.
So, for those, I guess, the audio listeners, I'm holding up Jedi Survivor. There's a real problem in this game for me in the movement where every task, I've talked about it in the show, like, this has one of my favorite video game moments I've ever had. I talked about it on the show when I did it. I was like, that was the greatest 2 minutes or whatever it was in video game history for me. And then since then, I can't do anything. I might even be on the same world. I'm not gonna lie. Here's the thing, though. Something got spoiled for me in this game. And now it makes me want to finish Outlaws so that I can just...
But you're not gonna...
I might do it just to play this. It's not the only thing in my video game backlog. I've got to finish Dragon Quest XI still, which has like been like a 6-year journey or so for me, which is fine. Like that's what I've meant it to be. if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Witcher 3 is kind of the same. It's like one of those things that I play when I haven't played something for a while. You know, there so many times I try to complete a game before I move on to the next one, but when I don't, they just enter this like, you know, thing that I'm doing. And sure. I don't want this one to end up where like Dragon Quest is, because this one requires so much movement based actions that it would just be impossible. Whereas like Dragon Quest, like I can look up like a comp to like beat some battles and remember how to do this JRPG thing. For Witcher, like I played on story mode anyway, so like, you know, I'm already over leveled where I'm at, so like it's kind of whatever. This one though, I gotta finish. But like I gotta get back to my video game backlog. Kind of like you gotta get back to finishing DC shows.
Yeah, especially with a new one coming out. Creature Commandos comes out soon-ish, I think. Another DC TV show, and Penguin is something that like I started watching. I did like the first 3 or 4 episodes and haven't really picked up since then. So I do need to get that finished. And I think I can do it. I just have to put down a couple of things to accomplish that.
I think Penguin's not that long. Isn't it only 10 episodes?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. The wrong number. It's the wrong... I mean, I guess it's not 8, but...
Hold on.
Is it 8? Right. If it's 8, I'll lose my mind.
It's a mini series. It might be
if
6.
It's 8 episodes. I won't watch it.
Oh goodness. Let's see here. It's 8 episodes.
I'm not watching it. I'm not. It's not enough. I'm not. Funny. We're not doing it on this podcast. I'm announcing it now. We're not doing the
Penguin.
No, it's not enough episodes.
Yeah, I'll report back when it's done to see, you know.
Dude, you'll have to give me a pretty high sell. Like, yeah. I'm so sick of this.
You know, we talked about this last week with Witcher 3.
Witcher
Season 3.
Dude, it's the entire problem with Season 3. Also, shout out to Patty B. I was editing the podcast today. I'm like, do you have any could be betters for the show? No, none. What do you rate the show? 3.5. What? You have no could be betters and it's a 3.5? You had could be betters that you rated 5s.
Jesus, all right, dude. I don't know. It wasn't my favorite, and so like it had a lower score, even though like I couldn't be like extra specific about why I didn't love it. It's fine.
I mean, I know why you didn't love it. It's because the last episode made no freaking sense. And we talked about it for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
All right. So let's move on to nerd news. We've covered everything we were doing, things we want to do in the future. Do you know about this new Eragon book?
No.
All right. So in an interview, Christopher Paolini, who's got 2 universes now, and they're also connected. I don't know why he connected them. Sea of Stars and Eragon are connected.
I'm sorry, what?
Do you not know this?
Why? Oh, okay. Isn't Sea of Stars is like a space thing, right? It's like science fiction.
Yeah, anyway. Don't worry about it. Angela's the connection. Now it makes sense to you. Now you're like, okay, that's fine. It's whatever. Yeah, so in classical Christopher Paolini fashion, he's like, I meant the Murtagh to be a one-off book, and it will have a sequel, and it will be the next book that I write.
Okay, cool.
In classic.
So you're saying we'll get that before Winds of Winter? Cool. I hear that.
I mean, should we talk about that? It's not in our show notes, but we can.
I know, right?
Should we actually talk about what he said? Do you actually know?
He
actually said it this week.
Yeah.
That he might never do it.
I saw two things where it was like, yeah, he's like said he might not ever finish it, but then also said that it's still his focus. It's like, okay, forget what it was.
Does he have a predecessor like Wheel of Time did?
I don't think so. I don't know.
You're like, I gotta type this while Spencer's talking now. I'll go into the next one while you're looking this up. Well, we look up Winds of Winter. But Wheel of Time got a season 3 release date. I don't have it in front of me, but this is interesting to me because this is one of those shows that, just like season 1 of Rings of Power, got crazy bad reviews. And what's so funny is I have a copy of Wheel of Time in my house somewhere, given to me by my uncle, that said, here's this book. It's one of the best fantasy books of all time. However, here is, and then he hands me a yellow notepad. You need to take notes while you're reading it to keep track of the characters.
Homework.
And I was like,
great, you gave me homework.
Literally never read this book.
Yeah.
So I still have the yellow notepad somewhere and Wheel of Time and have never read it. But this is getting season 3. And let me be clear that if I watch these seasons and the show is good, I will finally read that book. But it's a lot of books. I think it's like 13 books, Patty B. And for what it's worth, while you're looking this up, it also, author died before it was finished, and they had somebody else write the last 2 books.
That's kind of crazy.
So, what did we learn about Winds of Winter?
Oh, it's maybe it was just clickbaity in the title, but like,
he's not saying it's not going to happen.
Well, basically, he did say to this one person that it's not going to happen, but it's says it's still a priority. He can't, but that doesn't mean anything because it was supposed to come out 13 years ago, and that's wild.
I would like to skip the next topic and go to yours because I would like to end on the one that
on that one.
Yeah.
Okay. That had me.
No. Just let's move on. We'll come back.
Anywho, so role playing games are cool, and we're big fans of role playing games here. And I talked about a cool show that was put on by Critical Role, Vox Machina. Definitely worth the watch. Did finish that. And it looks like they're releasing their own, like with there's been a lot of like crazy stuff happening with D&D as far as people did not like the most recent set that came out for D&D. There's been some issues with the copyright and all that nonsense, but it looks like Critical Role has put out their own or is putting out their own role-playing game, and that comes out spring of 2025.
It's so weird that Stinky Musk wants to buy D&D, and now the most popular D&D show, game, campaign is doing their own thing.
Yeah,
it's almost like I expected this exact thing to happen.
Yeah, that's. Anywho, I'm excited.
I want to talk about the next one though, because
it's pretty cool.
I have never watched Scrubs.
Me either. I thought you had.
It is Quentin and Matt's both favorite shows of all time.
Yeah.
And
same thing. Yeah, it's up there for Shelby too.
Can I say why? Maybe I shouldn't say why. Maybe I shouldn't say why.
Some people say it's the best show ever.
A lot of people have it as their best sitcom ever.
Yeah.
I think Sarah Shalk sucks. Listen, I get that I'm a How I Met Your Mother fan. Her character was literally the worst character humanly possible in that show. But every time I try to watch Scrubs, even for one episode, and she gets on screen, I immediately get upset.
You just default.
I get mad. So yeah. I've tried to watch Scrubs like 3 times, and she's in every episode, and I'm just like, I can't handle, like, I can't believe she would do that to my homie Ted, and I just get mad and turn it off.
Anywho, so yeah, why we're talking about that is because the Scrubs creator is working on a reboot of the show.
No, it's not just the creator. I think that Zach is.
Oh, he's on board?
I think he's one of the writers, and is like him and Donald are 2 of the characters. I mean Zach Braff I think wrote the later seasons too. But yeah, I think Zach Braff is one of the writers. As far as I understand, and they are. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they've stayed in the presence of mind by doing those T-Mobile commercials together. So
yeah, did they?
Yeah,
the T-Mobile commercials.
Hey, and that's big. It has the kind of Scrubs vibe to them.
All right, let's do the next one, and then we'll wrap it up. But I don't believe this one. You don't believe
this one?
I don't believe it's going to happen. I think that something.
So the news. A judge did not approve the appeal on TikTok's United States ban. And so that happened like this week.
Do you know why?
It was because
all of the information had already been given to Congress,
and they still
went the same decision, and they still went through with it.
Yes.
I think this is going to go all the way to the Supreme Court, and they will not ban it because.
So yeah, that is the next step, and and the Supreme Court may hear it, they may not hear it. I have high hopes that they'll hear the case, but
just to be clear,
it's not a guarantee.
For those who don't know, Facebook already tracks your data more than any algorithm on TikTok. And I don't just mean Facebook.
Yeah.
I mean Instagram. I mean Threads. Yeah. Like TikTok is like a pebble compared to what Facebook is doing, who is also the leading contributor in compensation to the people opposing TikTok.
Yeah, it's no wonder that's the case, and it's kind of sad because like I was initially like a anti TikTok as far as like just not being my thing, but now it's just so much a part of my life where you're just like
honestly like
I think there's so much like nerd creation and awesome stuff that like happens and that wouldn't happen without TikTok
anywhere else. And the level of creator that happens on TikTok doesn't happen somewhere else. And we don't utilize it here as well as we could. And but yeah, I have high hopes that this ban will not go through. It doesn't make sense. It just
it really doesn't. And I have hopes as well. They're not as high, but because they could choose to not, and that would be sad if that goes away. And I think it's like January is kind of the deadline, like mid-January. So,
can I bring you back, Patty B?
Yeah, you can bring me back.
Let me bring you back to something that I have said we should review on this podcast.
We should put it on the dock for soon.
In 2001, Patty B, the show Smallville aired.
Oh, yeah.
From 2001 to 2017, the original DC show aired. The one that made me appreciate Superman and is in my top 3 favorite TV shows of all time. Well, almost halfway through its airing, they're like, we need to separate. We can't use the same characters because we want to make our own universe. Before Marvel ever did it, and in 2012, Arrow aired. And people who had watched Smallville on the CW or on the WB were very familiar with Oliver Queen because of Smallville, because he was such an integral part. And oh my gosh, was I hooked.
Yeah, Arrow was great. In fact, if you look over my right shoulder here, you see the Arrowverse on display. We've got Stephen Amell and Arrow, and then Barry Allen and the Flash characters.
Do you know that this month the Arrowverse ended?
I didn't realize that the Superman and Lois was an Arrowverse show. I had thought the Arrowverse ended with the Flash.
Yeah.
And after all the multiverse stuff.
Yeah. So that Superman from the Arrowverse was
gotcha.
That Superman, and I think I had read something that it was like, oh man, now I wish that I had pulled up a better doc for this, but like.
Mm-hmm.
The Arrow had 8 seasons, The Flash had 9 seasons, Supergirl had 6 seasons, Legends of Tomorrow had 7 seasons, Black Lightning had 4 seasons, Batwoman had 3 seasons.
And Batwoman was sad. I wanted more Batwoman for what it's worth.
And that doesn't even include Lois and Clark, Vixen, and Freedom Fighters and things like that. I might cry. I got married during this, and my wife and I have watched. I think the first 2 seasons of Flash, a lot of the Arrowverse and things like that. There is so much content that somebody better make and save this content for a complete story. People like to dog on DC for not keeping up with the Marvelverse or the Marvel universe, but the Arrowverse is bigger, greater, more in depth, and in a lot of ways more impressive than what Marvel did with the Infinity Saga. And I will do everything I can to watch it all in my lifetime, because for a lot of people this is their everything. Like this is everything they ever wanted in something. And like, I got married and have kids and fell off of this. But The Flash is one of my best friend's favorite TV shows. The Arrow was my favorite TV show after Smallville for multiple years. Like, I don't think anything like this will happen on TV literally ever again with the way the TV's going.
It was in this weird spot, right, where you talked about like them having to create a different universe because like you couldn't have Batman or Superman in any of the DC TV shows because they were trying to do that with the movies. And so characters like Oliver Queen and the Flash got to shine.
Well, it's so funny because like even in any of the crossover, like the first episode where they go to Gotham, Oliver's like, no, Batman's a myth. Like he's not a real. I'm the only real vigilante.
Yeah, it had to be ambiguous about it,
which is so funny because it also lines up with Smallville, where Batman's not in the Justice League in Smallville because they couldn't have him.
Right. Yep. I think I mentioned that where like I was scrolling through Netflix looking at stuff and then like Smallville popped up and I was like I should watch that because I haven't watched Smallville. So yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah.
No, we'll watch Smallville. Like that will be a thing that we do on this podcast.
I didn't love how they did Oliver Queen at the end of Arrow. Right? Like I didn't love his thing, but
dude, I haven't.
Overall, it was so great. I haven't
finished Arrow.
Yeah, that's why I'm being ambiguous about it.
Got it. I think that one of the things that we as society need to be better at, because Arrow had 8 seasons, Flash had I think it had 9 seasons. I think by like I think it was like season 3 or 4, people were like, "Oh, Flash is bad now." Like, "Oh, I'd never watch it." And it's like, I just stop talking about things you hate. Just like let people enjoy stuff. Because if you had not done that, I think we would have gotten more of this universe. And it is literally your fault if you were one of the people bashing on this thing that is the largest comic book TV universe of all time ending, and CW saying we don't want to do this anymore, is because of you being a craphead. Like that is why. So with that being said, though, I watched a little bit of Batwoman. I thought it was great. I watched a little bit of Legends of Tomorrow. I thought it was great. Watched a little bit of Supergirl. Thought it was great. Watched multiple seasons of Flash. Thought it was great. Watched multiple seasons of Arrow. Thought it was great. Gonna finish all this. I think it's fantastic. So
cool.
Also, I like that the Glee cast really stood out for this series. Wait, do you not know?
I must not know.
Hold on.
You said one of the magic words.
Which one?
Glee.
Wait, hold on. Do you actually not know?
No, what's up?
Do you not know that Grant Gustin and Melissa...
Oh.
Grant Gustin was the villain of Glee for like 3 seasons.
I wouldn't characterize him as like the villain. Right? Like, I don't know.
You wouldn't?
I didn't think he was. Was he on for 3 seasons? Hold on. I thought that was Darren Criss.
No, that's who he replaced on that team.
Okay.
Maybe it's only 2 seasons. He's only in 7 episodes?
Yeah, I was like, I didn't think it was like a huge
it is
run as the villain.
3 years, but it is only 7 episodes.
Okay, so just like kind of just sprinkle.
and then Melissa is like literally the lead of Glee for like a full season.
Right. So that yes.
All right.
You threw me off with the Grant Gustin thing. Anywho.
I don't know why. I don't know what's happening. That'll do it. If we every 2 months or so, we're actually getting pretty close to this. We plan our episodes, so leave a comment on YouTube or in Discord or on Spotify. Let us know what you would like to hear us talk about, and we will add it. We're gonna add Smallville. So like, if you're like, don't add Smallville, add something else. Like, let us know.
Yeah.
I've been catching up on Dragon Prince. Like, we got a lot of stuff that we're doing. So let us know if you would like something else that you want added to the docket. And then don't forget to leave a review. And I don't know if you know this, Petty B. Did you know that every single review we have between Spotify and Apple Podcasts is a 5-star review?
What? That's awesome. Keep them coming.
Did you know that?
No. That's cool.
It is cool. You can find me at Spencer30H on Blue Sky, or I think it's Heezy Game on Threads, or whatever. Just look Spencer Howland. You'll find me. Patty B, where can we find you?
Yeah, so they can find me still on X for now at Patty B MTG. I'm gonna be building up the Blue Sky profile. Also Patty B MTG there. So
you like and subscribe. It really does help out the show. Next week, we actually don't know what we're doing because my wife is supposed to pick it. I guess we're doing the like Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce inspired Hallmark movie, is what she said.
Oh, I thought we were gonna have our wives do that one.
Oh.
That was my idea, at least. Or like maybe we do a different rom-com and then like they do the Taylor Swift one because they're such Swifties.
I don't think they'll do it, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah, right. Try and make it work.
Thank you so much, everybody, for listening, and we'll see y'all next week with another episode of the Need to Nerd podcast.